Guys, I've made a massive fundamental change to Vault Hunters. First of all, Access has now also got the model update from Diamond Gamer Ash. I think they look super clean. I really like them. And they feel good as well in the hand, which is important. But okay, guys, massive change that I've done. I'm eager to see how you guys react to this. I'm gonna give myself a little sword here. And I'm going to give myself an axe, I guess. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll just give myself a sword. And we're going to use some commands here. And we're going to set this to level 78, just because that's the level I am. We're going to set the roll type to be Omega, just because then it's easier to show you guys what I've done. And we're going to roll this sword. This is after I realized a big flaw after playing Royale yesterday. And this is what's so good with Royale, because it gives me an ability to really dig deep in certain aspects of the game and what's not working. This that I'm about to show you is something that I've been thinking about for a long time, but yesterday it just became too apparent to me that things needed to change. So I thought long and hard. I spent my entire evening crafting in my brain. And this morning when I woke up, I was like, okay, I got it, I think. And again, this might not stay, but we're gonna see if this is a better way of dealing with weapons. Swords now has 90% of their AD power in the implicit itself. So where this sword would have rolled something like 28 to 35 previously, I have now merged them into the implicit. In addition to that, I've added attack damage as a suffix. So the total value, the total attack damage is now higher than what it was before. That is to make up for the legendary rolls that you could get in the past. Another thing is that you will notice is that chaining can now stack with the extra attack damage. And this is quite big, because chaining no longer competes with attack damage. It instead competes with lucky hit chance. Lucky hit chance no longer competes with clouds. And as you can see, attack damage on the suffix also competes with ability power. So, in my mathematical Excel file where I tested some values out, the end outcome is that this is a slight buff to AD. It's a slight buff. The swords overall in average are going to do more damage. However, it's going to require you to get a better base roll or use more fundamental focuses. You can see this sword can have 76 attack damage. 76 here represents the maximum rolled prefix and the maximum rolled implicit in the past. So plus 4. I've added 4 to all values. I don't know why. It's just felt good. But the interesting thing is that you can now build and have clouds together with lucky hit. The AP competes with attack damage, ability power, stun chance, and shocking chance. So if I were to just do this, you can see that. Oh, and I've also massively buffed the numbers for shocking, because shocking is good as a knockback. It's really good for like a mage build, I can imagine. But yeah, so you can get shocking, you can get stun, ability power, or AD. So you can also now get lucky hit with stun. Overall, this allows you to be a lot more creative when creating your weapon. Just because you can choose to go into chaining instead of lucky hit on your sword, for example, and get that same sort of idea that you get from lucky hit where you can do AoE damage. I think we're going to see a lot more playing with chaining now, because it doesn't cost... yeah, I should say this. Why did I do this? Well, in the past, 60% of the AD power from a sword, 60% came from the prefix. So you're trading 60% attack damage power in order to not have AoE. And with how Vault Hunters works and with how many mobs there are, specifically after like level 65, it just didn't make any sense. It was what I complained about yesterday. Like, if I didn't find a sword with a prefix of attack damage, it didn't feel worth it to me to ever go into AD. As I say, this might not stay. I haven't fully thought through like all the aspects that this will have to things. For example, conducting javelins may be very powerful now because you can chain and have insane damage. Overall, I think we can all agree, specifically those of you who play on hard, I think that we can all agree that there was a little bit too little attack damage coming from the swords. You had to combine it too much with attack damage rolls on your gear, which is good. But if you make like a super synergized combo of gear, isn't the result supposed to make you powerful or overpowerful instead of making you adequate? Damage always felt too low without the prefix. Yeah. And this is specifically in hard, but I can even imagine on normal after like level 60, it should be kind of similar. The same changes have been made to axes. So axes now have the exact same layout. There was a cringe thing with axes where they had slight more damage, and that's now removed because of course we have the double damage chance anyway. So you can see that the prefix implicit range is exactly the same. I think that's fair because, well, you have the double damage chance now. This is a massive change to base Vault Hunter stuff, and I feel like we'll see how this plays out, Dylan. Let me know what you guys think, though. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment. Are we thinking this is stupid? I know that I make a lot of changes to Vault Hunters over the time, but I genuinely feel like sometimes we make changes in one end and we don't make a change in the other end, and it ends up being like something like falls behind. And I feel like the swords and weapons have definitely fallen behind. This has been the case, like you shouldn't have to rely on a legendary attack damage roll in order for your sword to be good enough. You should be able to, if you get a legendary of anything, it should be super powerful. Another thing that I feel was kind of broken in the past was that attack damage was such an important roll on the prefix, as it was 60% of the total damage. Now it's 10% or it's 8%, something like this. Because it was such a big roll previously, it didn't really compete with anything. Like there was no reason to do anything but attack damage unless you were a mage build. But now if you're a mage build, you're incentivized to go the little AP roll there. It's not a lot of AP. Like on level 100 you can get 20 extra AP from your sword, but I mean it's raw AP, so it scales with everything else. Hopefully this is a good change. Big brain idea, just combine axes and swords, just make different models. I genuinely think, correct me if I'm wrong, Dylan, but I genuinely think that axes are fine now. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but I think they're fine. I think that the double hit fixed everything as of update 18. I think that this little double damage chance fixed everything. It really did. I'm not even worried about them anymore. The only problem I'm seeing now, I kind of still may want to make a weapon slot for you inside the vault so that you get cooldown if you swap swords. Because if we had that, we could make so many more affixes appear on weapons. We could make weapons much more interesting to roll. But we'll see. Sure you ain't coping? I don't think I'm coping. I genuinely think that axes are fine. Yeah, no, I think so. I think that DPS wise, you can now get similar or more DPS out of axes. It depends on how you build it. Yeah, no, I think axes are fine. I really do. I feel like I have been okay with playing with axes, and that was something that in the past it just felt like a nerf. What do the sword uniques look like with the new changes? I can show you. Gear, debug, give, unique item, Excalibur, level 78. I shall show you an Excalibur with the new changes. As you would expect, they look like that. So, of course, uniques don't care about prefixes and suffixes, but yeah, you can see that it has the implicit attack damage roll much bigger than what it did in the past. It also has that attack damage delta sweeping hit, and yeah, then the unique effect that it has. So it doesn't affect uniques, it makes them roll with the same style as the base swords.